Well, good afternoon, guys. Tommy from Month's Family Homestead. So good to have you back. Well, you didn't go anywhere. We did. We've actually been on a little vacation. There's actually a video coming out on Thursday, and there'll be some about our vacation and things like that. Just to give you a little hint, we did go to Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge, and boy, it's beautiful up there. After all the fires that were gone through that area, there was just total devastation. But they have really come back. The trees are looking really good. Even though we have 4 seasons, there's a season that sometimes is not so good for us. But just to talk about seasons while we're there, there's something in Scripture that God told Noah after the flood, and the flood destroyed the whole earth. And there's a lot of people that don't believe that, but there's too many proven facts that show that it just shows that it did happen. And I hope you will look into it. Genesis is the first book of the Bible, and you can look in Genesis chapter 6, chapter 7, and chapter 8, and it gives you the whole account of it. But one thing that God promised Noah, even after the flood, that the seasons would be exactly like they were: spring, summer, fall, and winter. And I know that people say that different parts of the world has 2 seasons, spring and summer. Some people say that we've got 1 season, winter, and here in Mississippi sometimes they say we've got 1 season where it's summer and then it's winter, and that's it. But it's really not that way. There are 4 seasons. God made those. That's the reason that's what we're doing now. We're putting seeds in our greenhouses, getting ready to transplant them into the gardens. And for those of you that live in Minnesota and Iowa and places like that are in Colorado that are actually going through snowstorms right now, your time is coming. It will fade away. Those of you that live in Maine, there's people that I stay in contact with that live up there. They've still got snow on the ground and ice and things like that. But back to the seasons. God told Noah that no matter what happens, that you think things are going haywire, He's still in control. So I'm going to read from Genesis chapter 8. But like I said, I'd like for you to read, if you would, Genesis chapter 6 and 7 and 8. And it tells you all about the flood, all about how the earth was as far as what happened to it. And God told Noah, He said, I'm going to destroy every living creature, every living thing on the earth. But I will save you and your family. But listen to me just a minute. Genesis chapter 8, starting in verse 20. Then Noah built an altar to the Lord, and took of every clean animal and of every clean bird, and offered burnt offerings on an altar. And the Lord smelled a soothing aroma. Then the Lord said in his heart, I will never again curse the ground for man's sake, although the imagination of man's heart is evil from his youth, nor will I again destroy every living thing as I have done. Now, verse 22 gives the promise, and verse 21 does also. But verse 22, listen to this. While the earth remains, seed time and harvest, cold and heat, winter and summer, and day and night shall not cease. That means as long as this earth is in the place that it is, in the form that it is right now, it will never change. We will have 4 seasons, and yes, there's people again that think that they only have 2 seasons, but there's still 4 seasons. There is. Think about this for a minute. What if you lived in a place that only had 1 season? Either spring, or what if you lived in a place that was so cold it was only winter? Even though Antarctica is so cold, it does get warm enough down there to melt the ice and glaciers and things like that. But as we start planting this spring, as we have started our seeds in our beds and things like that in our greenhouses, as we get ready, 3 or 4 weeks, something like that, to transplant them out into the garden, Think about the seasons that God's provided for us, seasons in our lives, seasons for great things in our lives. Sometimes there's tragedy in our lives, but that's a season in our life, and God will help us get through it. But the seasons, as he's talking about, spring, summer, fall, and winter, will always be. Hey, thank you so much for dropping by today. God bless you. Thank you for letting us be part of your life. Thank you for subscribing to Muntz Family Homestead. We try our best to make everything positive with all the negative that's going on. God is still in control, and he loves you. Thank you.